What's going on, my fellow troops? My name is Xavvo, and today I'm going to be talking about why I don't like Cold War and what the problems are that I think I've picked up from this game. So some of these might be fact-based, some might just be little things that don't affect anyone else, but kind of just might be kind of more opinion-based. I don't know. That's up for speculation, so, you know, feel free to say whatever in the comments, but I don't want anyone to be giving like hurdling abuse. I know it's quite a controversial topic, but this game is widely hated. It's not like I'm the only person here, you know, out attacking Call of Duty for this release. But I've given it time, okay? It's not like I'm attacking it on day one of release. I did play the beta. I thought it was exciting because it was something different, but nothing's really changed much. The problems are still there. So let's just get into this and discuss what these problems are with Cold War. So the first one is the game in general seems pretty rushed and has many bugs and errors. Most Call of Duty games do take about like 3 years of development, and apparently this game only received about 1. I don't know exactly the reason why, but yeah, apparently it was rushed, so it really shows. People have been saying since the start that it definitely seems rushed, which at least now we have confirmation of that. But yeah, for example, the loading screens, this doesn't really usually faze people because it's like, who cares? But it just looks an absolute joke. If you're loading up games, like 5 times out of 10, the screen will be pixelating, sliding off. It literally looks like a fucking slush bath. It looks awful. It just looks bad, especially for a game that's supposed to be in the future of gaming for like newer consoles and shit like that. Like it's actually embarrassing, like the fact that this game has that problem, because no other game has had that issue. And another one, which is a really big one actually, is challenges. When you're doing challenges or when you've done anything towards progress in this game, it just doesn't seem to log. Like the data just doesn't save. Like basically anything that Treyarch has touched at this point has become a broken mess. Like for example, Warzone was completely fine when it was just Infinity Ward and Raven Software who were developing it. As soon as Treyarch take control of it, now the challenge problems are happening in Warzone as well. So in Warzone, I also have the same issue where my challenges just don't seem to save, especially with this new event that's gone on called the Hunt for Adler. I was doing the Intel challenges for it, and none of the Warzone Intel challenges that I actually completed, it said on screen, in-game, that I'd completed them. None of them had saved when I came back onto the game. So that was fucking frustrating, especially how annoying and how difficult those intels are to pick up because so many other people are going for them. And then there was also my loadout drop. My loadouts actually the other day, I made a bunch of custom loadouts. I updated my other ones. I come on the next day and they've all just reverted back to what they were before. So it's Treyarch pretty much. It's all Treyarch's fault. The things like that just don't seem to save. And as well as that, there's been issues like game crashing, like other things where sliding might glitch about and be buggy. Just little things like that also really massively affect the game. The next thing is actually the campaign. Sorry, I absolutely hate it. If you remember, I actually did 2 episodes and I deleted them because I was going to do a campaign series from then on about walkthroughs for the campaigns of Call of Duty, starting with this year's Call of Duty, or last year, whether it started last year, didn't it? I only quitted it 2 episodes in because I realised that it wouldn't be easy to follow this campaign because of how sheerly difficult it was. There was no simple storyline or follow through. There was like little side missions, main missions, little bits of evidence and shit you had to find from the different missions, and they weren't even like right in front of you. You had to look for these things. And then the story had a multitude of different outcomes depending on which things you did and which ones you didn't in all the different types of missions there were. Like basically it was just a huge net of confusion. Like it made no sense to me, too hard to follow, too much control actually just makes it overkill and really just ruins the whole system of a campaign. Why don't you just keep it the same? It's like if something's not broken, don't fucking fix it, you know what I mean? Like I know they're trying to do something big and different, but please don't. The campaign structure was fine before and it always has been. We didn't need this much control over a fucking campaign. Now the next thing is the multiplayer. This is like the biggest argue point for this game. The guns, they feel fucking garbage. Literally plastic airsoft weapons. They shoot like shit. They don't have any correct balance to them. I've turned my sensitivity down, actually, to try and fix it. Still doesn't change anything. Yeah, my gun might not be flying all over the place every time I turn, but the gun still feels crap. It doesn't feel like I'm holding a properly fucking developed gun. The kills don't even feel satisfactory when I'm getting them, considering how hard killing people is in this game. I know I'm not bad at the game before you throw a little hissy fit and start calling me garbage, dog water, whatever you want to call me. No, it's got nothing to do with that. The kills just aren't satisfactory. They're so hard to get because everybody is sweating their balls off. And literally every other COD I've played, Black Ops 4 included, kills are satisfying as shit. Like, they feel good to get. In this game, it just feels like they've slapped off a few little medal awards on your screen, like from a previous card, like a copy-paste type shit, which is basically what the whole game is. It's just a copy-paste of Black Ops 4 crossed with Modern Warfare, and just, the kills just don't feel good. They feel boring. They feel just a waste of time, to be honest. And the next thing is like the SBMM. That's the main reason why I'm unable to get kills. It's not because I'm bad. Every single game is incredibly sweaty. It's like, it's 100 times worse. I understand SBMM is like the way forward for video games, but there's a certain limit to where it's acceptable. Modern Warfare had it, but it wasn't very clear. You couldn't see it that well. I don't know about you, but I couldn't tell there was such thing. Cold War is where everything kind of arrived for me with the whole SBMM topic. I was like, what is this? And then when I got to know it, I was like, oh shit, I never knew. I couldn't even tell that it was a thing until now, because Cold War is ridiculous. It's like 100 times worse than Modern Warfare. It feels like every game you're in a fucking tournament, and I don't want to be in a tournament every match. I want to be able to play a game, have fun with it, and not have to feel like I'm up against a multitude of little phased jevs, if you could say. Like, it's boring. Generally boring. It's just shit. Nothing about the game feels good in the aspect of competition. It just feels ridiculously overdone. So the other thing I think is, as a result of SBMM, is that it's prompted more camping. Now, feel free to go ahead and call me a clown in the comments. Say, oh, you're off your head, you're on some wacky substances for thinking camping's worse in this game than Modern Warfare. I hardly see it that much. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been in multiplayer for Modern Warfare recently quite a bit, and there is a lot of camping, don't get me wrong, but it happens just as equally, if not more, in this game. I cannot point out to you the amount of times that I play on a small/medium map, and there is people sitting on the fucking top of stairs in Nuketown and just shooting me up with an SMG. You're gonna tell me there's no campers in this game? Your head's in another space, mate. Like, generally, camping happens all the time in this game. I know it's kind of counterintuitive to the fact that the game is fast-paced and you wouldn't expect it, but it happens all the time. And generally, it's exhausting. I can't tell you enough. It's exhausting. On top of all the things I've already mentioned, do you think I want to have to put up with campers? No, I really don't. I don't whatsoever, and I would rather be able to run around, get some kills, and everybody be more interactive, not people sweating the balls off or camping in corners, because it just ruins it. I can understand why, to be honest, because getting kills seems to be kind of a difficult task, to be honest, and at this point, I can't explain how many times my kill streak gets cut off at like 3 kills because of the sweat. So, to be fair, it doesn't really come as a surprise why the game is filled to the brim with campers. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever, but it's actually so shit, and it makes me feel like I'm a bad player, and really I'm not. Every other COD I've played, I've always been one of the more dominant players in match. I'm not trying to toot my horn, it's just a fact. Let's talk about the spawn system. It's legitimately broken. I don't know if you've noticed, in other CODs, there is kind of a structure to how spawning works. It's never people spawning right behind your fucking asshole. It's people spawning in reasonable pockets of spaces that are quite a lengthy distance from you and them. In this game, whenever there's a space, the game just takes advantage of it, and we're like, well, we'll put some people in front of them, and we'll put some behind them. Well, you know what that does? It basically makes, like, a sandwich effect, where you've got players not only in front of you, but spawning behind you. And at that point, your whole team is just spawning in the middle region of the map, and it's just an absolute mess, because at that point, I've got to focus on two different sides of the map. People spawn behind me all the time. You can test it yourself. Go in Cold War, and you'll notice that people spawn behind you when the team's supposed to be in front of you. It doesn't make any sense. And, like, in general, the meta, which is what everyone's having to use to even live long enough in this game, because I don't think anyone has ever survived that long unless, as I say, they're a 𝙻𝚒𝚗𝚔 or they're a 𝚒𝚒𝚗𝚔. Like, no one's practically surviving that long with skillful weapons, because everyone is practically using the meta, which is reg guns. And to name them, let's say the assault rifles, the SMGs, the tactical rifles, that is practically what everybody's using, and if it's not that, someone's just using explosives. It's so boring, because every single game, if I'm running a sniper, there's never anyone else running a sniper. Like, I would have to wait for a sniper's only, like, mosh pit to be able to use just a sniper against other sniper players. But you know, even then, I'm putting against tryhards who are just in there to win. Like, every one of them just quit scoping me 50 times in a row. It makes them more boring than the normal core or hardcore quick play matches somehow. So there's never a balance in this game. It's either extremely fucking newbie players using SMGs and assault rifles all the time, and cutting off your kill streaks when you're trying to use either melee weapons or sniper rifles, or if you play the mosh pit, it's just full of bum-tards. It's come to a point where nobody's being original, everyone's using the same weapons. And also, let's talk about the visibility. It's garbage, it's horrendous, absolutely just astonishingly bad. Like, I can hardly see people, even from a medium range. There's literally hardly enough contrast to even separate them from the surroundings and themselves. You can't practically see them half the time, so when I'm, like, pulling a sniper scope out, I'm like, oh shit, where were they? Like, unless they are right within my range, I cannot see them. Like, I'll easily just lose where they are. If they're just in the distance with a sniper hiding somewhere, I'll just lose it, because I can't fucking see them. Especially, let's talk about Adler's hair in the campaign. Half the hair in this game looks clunky and just shit. You'll know what I mean if I show on screen, but it just looks really, really cheap. And at this point, we could say the game is basically a quick cash grab, because I don't think they've really put any much time into it, to be honest, and it doesn't look like they've even cared to even fix these problems either. But anyway, to top this off, let's just talk about physics. There's no physics in this game. We're already quite aware of how unrealistic it is from everything I've already mentioned in this video, but there's no physics, right? If you think there's physics in this game, I don't know. I don't know how to word it to you. Just please go outside. You'll know what physics are then. There's no physics in this game. You can somehow lob a throwable item, let's say a lethal or a tactical, right? You can lob them just directly on the spot with where your crosshair's at. So take this for example, with all the other Call of Duties, right? It takes some sort of skill to land a grenade or something correctly. You don't usually have to aim a little bit higher than where you want the actual thing to land. So that's how you'd lob it. You'd lob it a little bit above where you want it to land. That's always been the same thing. It's like with sniping, you usually put it a little bit above the head of the person, not right on the head. Like, that's usually how it works. But in this game, you can just throw something wherever your crosshair is. So let's say you put your crosshair on a window, bam, it throws it straight ahead. It doesn't make any sense, and things can fly for as long as they want. I could throw a grenade in this game, and it goes flying to fucking Neptune. There should be a limit to how far you can throw a grenade. It shouldn't be able to go flying to just to space. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it just goes flying for ages until it basically lands on something, and it's retarded as shit. So that's it. That's the end of my rant. Okay, I'm sorry if this was kind of ranty and annoying. Sorry if it was a bit long, but generally, I just want to top this off to say zombies and the cutscenes and trailers of this game feel like the only bit of the game that have received the most attention. Like, generally, zombies is amazing. If you haven't played it, please go play it. It's honestly the best part of the game. I can't stress it enough. You don't want to be playing that clunky garbage of a game that multiplayer is, and the campaign's just a legitimate fail. It's a flop. I don't even think anyone should play that shit. It's boring. And it's way too confusing. Just in general, the cutscenes and trailers, I will say they look phenomenal, and I will say Treyarch, I'll give credit where it's due, they have made Warzone look more colourful, even though they have gone and fucked up the brightness, which has in some way made it worse than the previous Verdansk. Warzone has received a lot more colour to it, and a lot more of a refreshing overhaul, I could say. So it does, I will give credit where it's due. They do know how to make things look more colourful and attractive, rather than dull and gloomy, but I still think, for the vast majority, their own game that they made this year, or last year, whatever you want to class it as, it has been an absolute failure. The only decent part is zombies, and that's why I mainly make zombies videos, and that's why I'm going for 𝙳𝚒𝚗𝚜, and I will not give a dang single toss about the DM Ultra. You can throw it in the bin. I really don't care. I can't be bothered, and that is why I do not like Cold War. There's just so much wrong with it. Feels like a cheap rip-off, and I don't know if Modern Warfare spoiled us, but even then, I could say Black Ops 4 is better than Cold War. And you know what? After I've done 𝙳𝚒𝚗𝚜, I'm going back to Black Ops 4. I'm done with Cold War. I'm just going to play Black Ops 4 from then on, and Modern Warfare until the next COD release. And hopefully, with the Modern Warfare engine, it's somewhat of a better improvement. So that's just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to honestly finish all Cold War's zombies, and I'm just going to go to Black Ops 4 Modern Warfare, because they were actually good games, unlike this. So that is probably why you won't see me making any class setups or anything like that in the multiplayer scene for Cold War. Yeah, at least instead of multiplayer, I'll now be playing Warzone more often, because beforehand I wasn't playing Warzone, and now I am, because they've brought it to life a little bit more, so I'm playing that more. But however, I'm not playing multiplayer. Anyway, that's enough for today. So if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like. If you didn't, dislike it. But if somebody's disliking it with multiple accounts, don't be toxic, don't be a fucking retard. You can leave a comment, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell, as usual, allows you to be notified for my other future videos. You can check out my Discord and other social medias down below. That'll be greatly appreciated. And check out my other channels. I don't normally plug them, but I'm going to plug them from now on. So check out my other channels. They need more attention, really, because I think they do. Yeah. Anyway, that being said, thank you for watching. Sorry this was really long, but yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.